Alright, here we are at the top of Reed. This sound is a loop on the modular. It's a pattern playing the Bacillus iteratus alter, which is a digital synth. And there's also some sounds that are on the laptop from these kind of cut up flute sounds, like overblown flute. So they kind of form their own pattern that works with that modular pattern. Hook here is coming from the laptop that I'm playing on MPC pads and manipulating some of the filtering and reverb levels with some knobs on my MIDI keyboard. So at this breakdown, you kind of hear a bit more of those tweaks. Turning the reverb up, filtering it down.
Portland, make some noise out there if you're feeling all right.
And Greenfield kind of takes the lead on this section here. He's playing on the bongos. So doing the work of two people, being percussionist and drummer all at once. Another breakdown that sets up the improv section in the middle of the song. So bring it down to kick snare with the samples. And then we go into a very electronic improv part. Nice little chimes fill there with Greenfield. So we have Luke on this virus pattern. We have Greenfield on the E drum, so right now just a hat sound, but then he starts to add in some more stuff, kind of like noise hat or noise snare sound there. I'm playing the modular, improvising with my arpeggiator and manipulating the sounds. Tim doing these sort of ambient swell effect things. Here's some kind of cool sounds on the modular. That's doing some pulse width modulation. So taking the LFO that's routed to the pulse width and making it go really fast up into what they call audio rate to get these sort of almost glitchy metallic kind of sounds. I got Luke doing some cool swelling chords on his soft synth setup. Some of these moments become really trancey. The electronic drums, there's no dynamics to them, which I guess could be considered limiting in some ways, but in another way it really just helps make this kind of loop sound that creates a bed where you can almost like stop thinking about it and just let the groove work, and the other instruments are kind of weaving in and out of each other. bringing the modular in and out with different sort of filtering and how long the notes last. Now doing some big glide tweaks on the modular. There's a module I use for that allows you to make the glide go only up or only down, which is something you don't really see on most synths, so kind of a unique feature in that module. Luke bringing it back to that pattern. That's kind of a motif that goes throughout that whole improv. So just started to introduce the 2-chord change that indicates that we're gonna set up going back to the main hook. So here's the switch back to the main hook, and get the drums going back to the acoustic drum kit. Bring it full circle back to that same pattern you opened with. And some of those little percussive sounds from the flute. Luke just started in with this sound. That's, I think, these samples of like a hand pan or a hang drum. So kind of like a metallic pan that people play with their hands that he has samples of. It's an interesting sounding synth patch or sample patch. And Tim doing more ambient bed on guitar. I'm back on bass guitar here. So we're kind of just getting back into the band style groove. Greenfield switches back to 4 on the floor beat here, and you notice Luke stops, so he's changing over from keyboard to, he's going to enter in guitar in a little bit here. Alright, so we have Luke coming back in on guitar, doing kind of a wah rhythm thing. And Tim coming off those ambient effects for a more like kind of subtle rhythm part, just the whole band grooving together. Kind of stepping out a little bit, taking a little bit more lead there, kind of indicating that he'll probably eventually take it to a full lead guitar. We have some room mics to get ambience in. This is what those sound like. So use those to capture a little bit more of the sound of the room in addition to just the direct channels. Alright, Greenfield's moved over to the ride now, and you can kind of hear things sort of building up. So we're setting up some bad transition here. More drum fills. That always means it's building up a little bit more, trying to build the energy without going too far, trying to still leave ourselves some space to go up to.